Hello, this is Connie Belden, and in Chapter 10, we're going to take a look at variances for direct material, direct labor, and variable manufacturing overhead. Let's familiarize ourselves with some terms. MPV stands for our materials price variance, the difference between what we actually pay per whatever they're measuring it on and what we budgeted. MQView stands for material quantity variance, the difference in quantity based on what we budgeted versus what we used. AP will be the actual price. SP will be the standard price, in other words, what we budgeted. AQ will be actual quantity. SQ will be standard quantity, the amount that we budgeted to use. U will stand for unfavorable, F for favorable. Then when we get to labor, LRV is our labor rate variance. LEV is our labor efficiency variance. How efficient are we with our labor hours? SH is our standard hours, the budgeted number of hours we anticipated. And SR is standard rate, the budgeted rate that we pay per hour. Okay, our 6 formulas that we're going to use, the first 2 will be for our material variances. Our second 2 will be for our labor variances. And these last 2 formulas is what we will use for our variable overhead variances. And I'll repeat those as we work the problems. Now, what's important to note is as we calculate these variances, if it is a negative number, it is actually favorable. Think of it as saving money. If it's a positive number, though, it is actually unfavorable. Think of it as spending more than you should have. Okay, let's go ahead and start with calculating direct material variances. Let's assume that we actually manufactured 3,500 bag helmets, and we actually used 2,240 kilograms of plastic for all 3,500 helmets. And we spent, for all 35 helmets on plastic, $17,024. Now, for our standard or budgeted, this is given per helmet, 0.58 kilograms of plastic per helmet, and we budgeted to spend $8 per kilogram purchased. Okay, so let's start out with here answering some questions before we can actually get to part 4 and doing the calculations. Okay, so let's start with question number 1. What is the standard quantity allowed in total to make 3,500 units? Okay, well, we will take the actual number of units produced, which is 3,500. And the standard materials per unit is 0.58 kilograms, so I will take it times 0.58. That gives me 2,030 as my total standard quantity of kilograms to make 3,500 units. For question 2, we want to calculate the standard material cost. We know the actual material cost is $17,024. What have we budgeted for material costs to make 3,500 units? Well, we would take that total standard quantity that we calculated in part 1 and multiply it times the standard price of material per unit. In this case, it would be per kilogram is our unit. So that would be given at $8. Multiply that out. That is $16,240. Now, to get the variance in total for materials, I can take what I actually spent on materials, which is $17,024 given to me in the problem, subtract out what I budgeted to spend on materials, $16,240, my answer in part 2, and I will come up with a positive $784. That $784 is positive. Remember, a positive represents unfavorable. Okay, now we're going to break that $784 down to how much of that is a material price variance and how much of that is a material quantity variance. So first of all, we want actual price and standard price in a per unit, or in this case, per kilogram basis. So I am given here in the problem that I actually spent $17,024 to buy 2,240 kilograms. So if I divide that out, that would give me the price per kilogram. Okay, so I will take the $17,024 divided by 2,240 kilograms, and the price I paid per kilogram is $7.60. Okay, now that I have that information, I can calculate my material price variance. Now I want to take actual price per kilogram minus standard price per kilogram, do that first, and then multiply it by actual quantity. So I just calculated the actual price is $7.60. It was given in the problem that the standard price per kilogram was $8. Now I want to take it times my actual quantity, which was given at 2,240 kilograms. So when I calculate this, I want to take 760 minus 8 first, giving me a negative 40 cents, times 2,240 gives me a negative 896. However, I want to express it in Connect as a regular 896 and then note it with an F as favorable. That represents that it was negative. So I would put this type of answer in Connect as a positive 896, but put favorable after it. Okay, next I want to break down my material quantity variance. Okay, I want to take the actual quantity, which was given at 2,240 kilograms, minus my standard quantity, which I calculated up here in part 1, 2,030 kilograms. And then take it times the actual price per kilogram, which I just calculated up above. Oh, I'm sorry, standard price per kilogram, which is given at $8. Okay, so I take 2,240 minus 2,030, and then take it times $8. That does give me a positive 1,680. A positive is favorable. Now remember in part 3, we got a total variance of 784. I can actually add the price variance, which is really a negative 896, plus the quantity variance of 1,680. And you'll notice that's what I did down here. That also, as a check figure, gives me 784. Thank you very much.